Scumbag, loser, fraud, phony, fucking asshole, piece of shit, motherfucker.
Gordon is big and blue and the fastest engine on all of 𝔖𝔢𝔠𝔬𝔫𝔢𝔩. He loves pulling the express. Gordon thinks it makes him the most important engine on the island. One day, Gordon was pulling the express out of Brendam docks. But Diesel was on the same line. "Out of my way," sniffed Gordon. "Express train coming through." Diesel had to back off. This made him cross. "You steamies are old and clapped out," he sneered. "When the Fat Controller realises this, you'll all be scrapped." "Scrapped?" scoffed Gordon. "Pah, I'm as fast as I ever was." And he chuffed proudly out of the docks. Gordon was speeding through the beautiful countryside. But then he heard a horrible squeaking noise. Gordon was upset. Squeaking could only mean one thing. Something was wrong. Gordon squeaked sadly up the hill. The hill was steep and Gordon had to slow down. The slower he went, the quieter the squeak became. He chuffed slowly back to Tidmouth's sheds. That evening, the Fat Controller came to see Gordon. "Tomorrow is a very special day," he said. "I am taking some village children on a boat trip. You, Gordon, are to take us to Brendam docks. The boat leaves at 9 o'clock, so you must not be late." The day's work was done. The other engines were already asleep. What if Diesel is right? What if the Fat Controller scraps all of us? Gordon was worried. Once out of the sheds, he started to pick up speed. His pistons pumped and his wheels spun, and he began to squeak again. "Oh my," said Gordon. Then he heard something even worse. It was a rattle. Oh dear, he cried. "I am falling apart. What will the Fat Controller say?" So Gordon slowed down. Gordon crawled slowly into the station to collect the children. Gordon pulled slowly out of the station. Gordon chuffed slowly through the countryside. He thought things were going well. But the Fat Controller was very cross. He spoke sternly to Gordon. "What are you playing at, Gordon?" he boomed. "You must go quickly or the children will miss the boat, and that will never do." "Yes, sir," said Gordon sadly. "Remember, you are the fastest engine on the island." This made Gordon feel proud. "This might be my last trip," he said, "but I'll get the children to their boat on time." His wheels turned faster, his pistons pumped harder. Must be on time, he thought. Soon he began to squeak, and rattle too. Then he heard another noise, but Gordon didn't care. If this was his last trip, he was going to go as fast as he possibly could. Gordon squeaked and rattled and knocked all the way to Brendam docks. Salty and Henry were surprised. "I made it." He had made good time and the children would catch their boat. "Thank you, Gordon," shouted the children happily. "I knew you could do it," said the Fat Controller. "But why haven't you been to the repair yard?" "The repair yard?" gasped Gordon. "You have been making lots of noises," said the Fat Controller. "You need to have your engine looked at." "So you're not going to scrap me?" asked Gordon. "Scrap Gordon," boomed the Fat Controller. "The fastest engine on 𝔖𝔢𝔠𝔬𝔫𝔢𝔩. Who would pull the express?" Gordon beamed with pride. Gordon was as good as new, and he felt even better.